A small Japanese child notices that their grandmother's teacup is almost empty. Without being asked, without being told, they quietly get up and refill it. No one praised them, no one made them do it. They simply noticed another person's need and met it. To many Western parents, this can look almost unbelievable in a young child. We pour so much energy into teaching kids to speak up,
to stand out, and to express themselves. Those things matter, but somewhere along the way, we often forget to teach the other half, the quieter half, how to truly notice the person sitting right next to them. The Japanese have spent centuries refining how to teach exactly this. It may be the most valuable thing you ever give your child. Because, in the end, it isn't the loudest or smartest kids who live the happiest lives. It is the ones who know how to be kind. Let me start with something that surprises a lot of parents. We spend enormous effort worrying about our children's intelligence. Are they smart enough? Or ahead enough? Will they get into the right school? Decades of research point to something we rarely talk about. The single biggest predictor of a happy life isn't IQ. It is the ability to understand and get along with other people. We call it emotional intelligence, which the Japanese have lived by for generations. A child can be brilliant and still be lonely, anxious, and unable to keep a friend. A child of perfectly ordinary intelligence, who knows how to read a room, care for others, and build real relationships, will move through life with a quiet, powerful advantage. Here is the part we miss. In the West, we often treat kindness as something a child either has or doesn't, a personality trait or a matter of luck. Japan treats it as a skill, something taught, practiced, and built day by day. Once you see how, you can start building it in your own child this week. I want to be clear about something before we go on. If your child is going through a selfish phase, a me first, mine stage, that is completely normal. And it does not mean you've raised a selfish person. Young children are wired to focus on themselves first, which is just development. Empathy isn't something they're born fully knowing. It is something they grow into with gentle, patient guidance from us. If your kid grabbed a toy and made another child cry today, breathe. You haven't failed. You've just found your next gentle teaching moment. Let's talk about how Japan handles those moments. I want to show you 3 ideas. At the heart of how Japan raises kind children, none of them involve lectures, shame, or forcing your child to apologize. They're about gently turning a child's attention outward, toward others. The first idea is the heart of all of it, Omoiyari. It is often translated as consideration or empathy, but it is deeper than that. Omoiyari is the ability to sense what another person needs before they have to ask, and then to quietly act on it. It is the child refilling the teacup. It is noticing a friend look sad and sitting beside them. It is thinking, what would make this easier for someone else, and then doing it. In Japan, Omoiyari isn't treated as a nice bonus. It is treated as the very center of being a good person. And here is how it is taught. Not through big lessons, through tiny, constant modeling. The child watches their parent think of others, out loud, all the time. A parent might say, "Let's be quiet now. Your sister is sleeping and needs her rest." Or, "Let's save some of this for Grandpa. He loves these too." The child hears, again and again, the simple act of considering another person. And slowly, that voice becomes their own inner voice. They start to automatically ask themselves, how does this affect the people around me? So, here is something you can start today. Narrate your own Omoiyari out loud. When you do something kind for someone, say why. I'm bringing our neighbor some soup because she has been feeling unwell. Your child is always listening, and every time they hear you consider someone else, you're handing them the blueprint. The second idea is the single most powerful tool in this entire video. So pay close attention. In Japan, when a child does something hurtful, the parent rarely jumps to punishment. Instead, they ask one quiet, transforming question. Aite no kimochi. How do you think the other person feels? Picture it. A child snatches a toy from another, who bursts into tears. A Western parent might say, "That is not nice. Say sorry, or give it back." The lesson the child takes is, "I broke a rule, and I got in trouble." The Japanese parent kneels down and asks instead, "Look at your friend's face. How do you think they feel right now?" And in that single moment, something profound happens. The child is pulled out of their own head and into someone else's. They are guided to actually look and imagine another person's inner world. This is the exact mental move that empathy is made of. And like any skill, the more a child practices it, the stronger it gets. A child asked, "How does your friend feel?" 1,000 times across childhood, becomes an adult who simply senses it without having to be asked. Punishment teaches a child to fear consequences. This question teaches them to care about people. Those are different children. So next time your child hurts someone, resist the urge to just correct the behavior. Kneel down and gently ask, "How do you think they feel right now?" Then wait, let them think. That pause is where empathy is born. Quick pause. I'm curious about something. When your child upsets another kid, what is your instinct? Do you jump straight to say, "Sorry"? Or do you ask how the other child feels first? There is no wrong answer, and most of us were raised on just say, "Sorry." Type the word Omoiyari in the comments if you're going to try the question instead. I'd love to know how many of us are making this small, powerful shift together. The third idea widens a child's heart to the whole world. Okeiji-sama. It is a beautiful, almost untranslatable Japanese expression. It roughly means, "I am what I am thanks to you, thanks to others, thanks to things unseen." It is said in everyday life as a quiet acknowledgement that nothing we have and nothing we are was achieved entirely alone. The food on the table came from a farmer's hands. The home was built by someone. Even our successes were lifted, somewhere along the way, by other people. This sounds philosophical, but for a child, it is deeply practical. A child raised with Okeiji-sama grows up understanding a simple, grounding truth. I am not the center of the universe. I am held up by others, and I, in turn, hold others up. This is the antidote to entitlement, the quiet cure for the me-first mindset. And it is built through one of the simplest habits in Japanese life, gratitude. Spoken often. Itadakimasu before a meal, a thank you to everything that made the food possible. Gokisasama after, a thank you for the meal that was given. A child who pauses to give thanks several times a day, every day, slowly builds a worldview where other people and their gifts are always visible. You can bring this home without any of the words, just the practice of noticing. At dinner, ask your child, who do we have to thank for this meal? Help them see the farmer, the cook, the hands behind the everyday. A child who can see all the people holding up their life naturally grows into someone who wants to hold up others. And I want to gently point to what this really gives a child for life. A A truly kind, emotionally intelligent person is never truly alone. They make friends easily and keep them. They handle conflict without breaking relationships. People trust them, want to be near them, want to help them, long after the spelling tests and the report cards are forgotten. It is this, the ability to care for others, that will shape whether your child is loved. We spend so much time preparing children to succeed. But the kindest, wisest thing we can do is also prepare them to connect. Because a life full of warm, real relationships is just about the closest thing to happiness that exists. So here is the whole thing. Omoiyari, model considering others out loud, and your child learns to do it too. Aite no kimochi, instead of punishing, ask how the other person feels. And grow real empathy. Okajasama, practice everyday gratitude. And raise a child who sees the people holding up their life. Notice that none of this requires lectures, or shame, or forcing a hollow apology. It is all gentle. It is all about quietly turning a child's gaze outward toward others. You won't see results overnight. Empathy grows slowly, like a tree. There will be selfish days, and grabbed toys, and hard moments. That is all part of it. But every out-loud kindness, every small thank you, every time you ask how do you think they feel, is a seed. And you are planting a forest your child will live in for the rest of their life. Here is what I really want you to take away tonight. If you teach your child only one thing, let it be this. The world does not need more children who are simply clever. It needs more children who are kind, who notice, who care. That is the rarest and most valuable intelligence there is. One last thing before I go. Tell me in the comments one small act of kindness your child has surprised you with. I read every single one, and I have a feeling these will be wonderful to read. If this gave you a new way to think about raising kind kids, subscribe to Mochi School. We have a lot more of these quiet ideas to share. I'll see you in the next one.